Hey everybody and welcome. Today we are here in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, getting ready to take you guys along with us to
Chesapeakes.
All right, here is a look at the menu. To the left you can see the various starters that they have to choose from. And over to the right they have live Maine lobster options. And down here they do have a seafood bar, which includes different various types of oysters. Down here are the salad options that are available. Quite an extensive list there. And over to the right are the sandwiches. Over to the left, traditional seafood favorites. They also have from the land, which include steaks and chicken. And back over here to the seafood favorites. We'll continue to scroll so you can see all the options there. And they do have a dessert menu here, including key lime pie and orange sherbet. And over here are their side dish selections. Some of the featured items are baked spinach Maria. They also have baked potatoes, braised spinach, and a bacon and cheddar cheese grits option. They also have a daily menu. All of the fish is flown in and have been caught within the last 2 to 3 days at the latest. So here is the daily menu, including a featured appetizer. We're gonna get the Chesapeake creamy crab dip. They also have different soups to choose from. And here are the featured catches of the day. And if you have kids, right here is the kids menu. There are the drink specials, salad. Here are the entrees. Gentry's going with the fried fish. I think Henry's going with it as well. And here are the sandwich selections as well as the desserts. So our bread just came to the table and we have a variety here. We have a bran muffin, we have dinner rolls, cornbread, and even a croissant. So I love the variety that comes right out to the table as soon as you sit down. All right, there it is, the creamy crab dip. What a great presentation.
So I just tried one of the crab claws here, and oh my gosh, it's so tender and flavorful. And as you can see, Henry really likes the dip too.
He's got his dinner roll dip in it.
Mommy. But now I'm gonna try the dip. This is so delicious. Try this if you like crab and if you like creamy dips and everything and crusty bread. It's got all of those. So you got like the really good crunch from the crusty bread and it's soft on the inside. Then you have that creamy dip. You got lots of good crab flavor. And then there's like maybe some green onion and some cream cheese. I definitely taste like a cream cheese background. And it's just really good. It's like not really like an Alfredo, but the texture is like an Alfredo, if that makes sense. But got just enough cheese, just enough of everything in there, and it's really tasty. All
right, so got a little bit of the crab claw on here. So first bite, got a little bit of everything. Here we go. You can tell that crab is just very fresh, very flavorful. The cheese and just everything else blends perfectly. It is a very delicious appetizer. All right, the food has arrived. Jennifer, what did you order there?
I got the broiled seafood platter, and it includes a crab cake, which looks very tasty, and shrimp with scallops, and then cod, and then you can choose a side, and I got the spinach Maria, which is a cheesy spinach dish.
All right, and I ended up getting the same exact thing. I mean, just it's pretty much a sampler platter there. They had the fried option and the broiled option, so slightly healthier to go with the broiled option. And then I got the baked apples.
I got the fried fish with baked potatoes, and I also got some cocktail.
Some honey mustard and tartar.
Honey mustard sauce and tartar sauce.
So Gentry's wanting to show how flaky the fish is. And Henry's been digging in. He got the same exact thing. Henry, how is it, buddy?
It's
So I just tried the kind of garnish that's on here, and I think it might be like arugula or some sort of like a spring lettuce, and it's just lightly tossed in some type of like a homemade vinaigrette, and it almost tastes like it had like the oil part of it might be like bacon grease maybe, and some apple cider vinegar, and then it's got some little red peppers in here, but it's kind of like a nice little green on your plate. So we all know if there's greens on the menu for a side, I'm most likely going to choose something like that. So definitely spinach is one of my favorites. So I'm going to dig into this cheesy spinach here. It's called Spinach Maria. That is fabulous. If you come here and you like spinach and you like cheese, you definitely should try the Spinach Maria. It is a very good creamy cheese sauce mixed in with the spinach, and it doesn't overpower the spinach, so I like that because I like to taste the spinach. And it has a little bit of red pepper kick, maybe like some cayenne, and then you've got the melted cheese on top as another texture, as well as some like some cheesy breadcrumbs, so you've got like a little bit of a crunch on top too. So all of that all together is so tasty. And I'm gonna try the crab cake here. It looks so good. That is so good. There's definitely a lot of crab in that. There's some really good seasonings going on there. It's a little bit of a creaminess, and that goes really, really well with the crab, and it's not fishy either. So I really enjoy that. And then you've got the really good seasoning and the broiled on top. Love it. So this scallop has a really good sear on it. And so what that tells me is that some flavor going on, and I'm excited to try this. So I just tried the scallop, and it's cooked very perfectly, very tender and everything. I think I would like a little bit of like maybe like a crab oil seasoning on it and everything, just to like enhance the flavor and everything. But by itself, it's really good. And I also tried it in the drawn butter.
So I'm going to start here with the baked cinnamon apples. Right there, you can see they. You know, sometimes you get baked cinnamon apples and they don't really have a good cinnamon syrup. But you can see down here, this has a great cinnamon syrup. It's nice and thick. And here we go. Those are delicious. My comparison that I always use is the Pottery House restaurant over in Pigeon Forge, a few miles up the road. And that is like my level 10 go-to baked apples. They're not quite there. I would say these are like a 7.5 if those are a 10. Still good. 7.5 is good, but not as wonderful as the ones at the Pottery House Cafe. Next, I'm going to dig into the crab cake. And you can see all the flakiness, the parsley. That is such a meaty crab cake. A lot of times you get crab cakes, and you know, they kind of put all the fillers in there. They're not playing around with this crab cake. I mean, this is like almost all crab. So delicious. And all throughout, it's not like they just sprinkled some parsley flakes. I mean, they really mixed it in well. You know, we've been to Maryland a couple of times before. Didn't get crab cakes, regrettably. But this is one of the better crab cakes I've ever had at any restaurant.
So this cod looks so good and flaky. And it's got a nice broil on it as well. The cod was very nice and flaky and tender. That's really, really good too. And now I'm going to try shrimp, which is one of my favorite seafoods. So I have to say the star of the plate, there's 3. And I would have to say the Spinach Maria, the shrimp, and the crab cake. Those are the best parts of this plate.
So big pieces of shrimp, huge scallops. And I'm going to go ahead and bite into one. I used to not like scallops. I went through a phase where they just weren't great until I started going to restaurants where they serve good scallops, and then I realized the restaurant, the recipe can really make a scallop, and I'm a big fan of that. Right here we have the cod, lightly dusted with a seasoning. I would say the only thing that I have not liked on this plate so far is the cod. I'm not a fan. Texture's off, taste is off. Everything else, though, fantastic.
Do you think you might want to try it with some tartar?
Yeah.
See if it might be homemade tartar sauce, too.
I love tartar sauce. Tartar sauce didn't help it. So I'm going to try some warm drawn butter. I'm giving it a shot. This is the 3rd try. Here we go. For me, thumbs down on the cod. But last thing I need to try is this shrimp. It's a big old Mississippi prawn right there. Look at that. Very delicious. I tried it by itself, but I want to try some of that warm drawn butter on here. Everything is excellent on the plate. Again, cod being the only thing that's bad. Everything else, home run.
So I always like to try the cocktail sauce at seafood places because sometimes it's different everywhere, just like here. What they do is they bring you a cup of ketchup with prepared horseradish in there, and so that way you can kind of adjust the taste how you want it and everything. So I think that's really cool.
Gentry, how was that fish?
Pretty good, and I have to say the baked potato I've devoured.
I was gonna say, there's nothing left of that except for a little bit of skin on there, right? Henry, how was yours, bud? And look at that view, guys, right there.
And they closed the gates for us.
Yeah, they closed the gates. We walked over from the Margaritaville, and the gates are now closed, but we can still get over there. All right, here is the final bill for everything that we got here. After tax and before tip, came out to $123.49. That was Chesapeakes. Henry, what did you think about Chesapeakes?
It was good, and I liked it. It was pretty full, and I'm so full.
All right. And Gentry.
I gotta say, same with Henry, and great service too here.
And Jennifer.
Yes, we'd like to thank Chelsea. Hey Chelsea, thank you so much for your service. You are a great server and very well knowledgeable about all of the items on the menu and everything, and just so sweet, and refilled our water and everything before we could ever finish the glass. So thank you so much. And the food here is fantastic. It's so good and very filling. That crab dip was really, really great, and I liked that it had the crab claws on there too, and that was just kind of like an extra touch and everything to make it spectacular. And then the seafood that we had, the broiled seafood meal, that was really, really good. Britt and I probably could have shared that. There was so much food on that, so we didn't know that before we came. It's our first time here, so if you come here, keep that in mind. The portions are big. And that spinach Maria, oh my gosh, that was so, so good. But yeah, definitely this is a great place to go. It's very calming. The view is just amazing. It's so beautiful, and the service is spectacular.
The crab dip, I have to say, was very, very delicious. Vibrant is the best way I can explain it. Lots of layers of deliciousness. I especially enjoyed, my favorite thing about our whole entire meal were the crab cakes. Very good. You know, some people like their crab cakes like a salmon patty. I like mine just like that. It was all full of crab. And of course, crab's got that sweet meat, and it was just a very sweet, delicious crab cake, to say the least. I think, if I remember correctly on the menu, they have a crab cake meal. I would get that probably next time I'd come here. The cod was a no-go for me. Definitely a no-go. The shrimp. Nothing spectacular, but nothing bad. And then the scallops were really good, especially coming from a guy who used to not like scallops. I really enjoyed the scallops. Probably the second best thing I had were the scallops. And again, baked apples, pretty decent. Not as good as Pottery House, but very good, to say the least. But guys, we thank you so much for joining us here in Gatlinburg, Tennessee at Chesapeakes. And we sure do look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Every Day is Saturday.